things off with a little risk disclaimer. We know there's risk in trading. Please and always use trade capital only. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose, whether trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos. You know the deal. Let's have a look at everything this morning. Follow me on social media. You know the deal. Verified Twitter account at Real Chris Pulver, YouTube.com/Chris Pulver, and my Discord channel, Chris Pulver Trading. I'll post that in the chat here in just a moment for YouTube. Let's get into the charts. So pressure remains to the downside. It's a pretty quiet week as far as news goes. I'm looking at a level this morning on the SPY at 443. If we can hang in there, otherwise if we close above 446, I'm looking for a run towards 448. So I'll see what I can get in the short-term side of things today. We opened up at 444, so possibly a $3 to $4 move today. Like I said, you're showing the screen here. I'm showing the screen on what we've seen since post FOMC. This was our FOMC noise. Let me get my drawing tool up here. FOMC noise, post FOMC, really nice decline. Put in the structure in the short-term top. And then we've just seen steady downside from there. Not aggressive, but steady. So this is post FOMC, false top, put in nice structure bottoms. Once we broke this low, I thought it was a really important level to either, break and go higher or break and go lower. And you can see that it's pretty clear we've broken the post FOMC level, retested, came back down, retested, came back down, retested, came back down. So the bears right now have the upper hand. It has been pretty choppy and volatile. We were still able to carve out some nice profit last week, which no complaints on that. But where are we vulnerable to? This is a 23% fib on the SPY. This is a 38% fib on the SPY from the larger swing up this year. So I'd say that, if the bears are going to be in control, this is where the bulls might be ready to step back in and take the market higher. A simple, trendline break like so would be pretty noticeable. If we just kind of grind lower with a kind of a falling wedge look, this could be the play right here. But once we get into the yellow box and start breaking structure, then I'm looking for this to come up and retest the high. Now, I mean, having said that, it may not break the structure. Maybe we go deeper into this yellow box. Maybe we close below 236 and then come all the way down to the 382 and have a deeper pullback. Like I said, this week is pretty quiet news-wise. Here's the calendar. We do have some rate decisions elsewhere outside the U.S. Currency strength, let's take a look at in just a moment. Let's see here. This morning, I had a chart alarm going off on the dollar. The dollar is the strongest in the morning. There's your currency strength. Dollar's creeping up there with a nice little expansionary move towards 8 a.m. Eastern time. Aussie and New Zealand were really soft this morning, came back into baseline. Swiss and Euro, one of the weaker two. Japanese yen starting to creep up a little bit, but CAD and dollar are leading the way this morning. If we go to the futures dashboard, futures just turned pretty flat. It was red this morning right before I started the live session. We're kind of flat at this time. Asia was all red this morning in a big way. So Asian currencies getting beat up pretty badly. That helps my position on the dollar Sing. I know there's a lot going on with Chinese data right now. I think it was one of their slowest foreign direct investment readings in a while, and their GDP is slowing. So China's reopening is not quite as robust as I think everyone was anticipating into, this year. But nevertheless, U.S. futures market, we'll keep an eye on things. We're back in red. So this is what I'm going to watch for. In the short term, I'm looking for a position at 443 on the SPY. I'm actually going to put in a position right now, watching some of my profit levels. I'm going to put this alert up for, let's see. All right, let's go Delta Trader. SPY. It's an 8/14 expiration. Sell to open 443 put. Buy to open 441 put. And a buy to open 445 put. 1, 1. Let me see what that's trading for. 45-cent debit. This is a long put butterfly spread. Looking for price to hit 443 to take profits on this trade. If SPY closes greater than 446, look at a long call targeting 448 or higher. Let's see what the real-time levels are. 448's up there. Yeah, I think we're going to hang out around that 443 level today. If we go higher, we got to close above 446. 448 is possible for a couple dollar move. Okay. All right, so that trade is in. Let me switch gears here to my charts. Log into YouTube this morning and say hi to everybody. All right, busy chat. Love to see it. Linda, good morning. First in the house. Chris, good morning. Ranger, good morning. FK, good morning. Gary, what's happening, sir? Nice to see you. Herbert, good morning. Catherine, good morning. FK, Donna, David, Denise, good morning. Giza, good morning. Trish, good morning. Bill, good morning. All right. China's economic issues expected to have an adverse impact on Australia and New Zealand. I mean, yes, it will definitely impact the Aussie New Zealand, mostly the Aussie. So, and we'll see. I mean, it's look, the big story with China's slowdown right now, or China's like lack of robust opening, would probably be attached to a lower commodity world. We're just seeing, I think everyone expected China's reopening, big boom in demand, a lot of commodity prices going higher. Everyone right now is bullish on energy, and it seems like that is a bit of a crowded trade right now. So either people are still betting on China, or people are, just looking at inflation. So we'll see how it plays out. But yes, I mean, Australia will be affected by China, as will New Zealand dollar. But yeah, I mean, really, I'm just watching commodity indexes, and there's ETFs that are, tracking commodities and move along with them. So we'll see how it all shakes out. All right. So I'm going to keep my eye on things this morning. I could probably look at an inexpensive call, 447 to get to 448. Maybe I'll throw a trade in there. So 448. If I did the 447 call, it's trading for about 34 cents. It's not a bad play. The Bulls would have to surprise us today, though. Okay, I'm going to throw that on. So it's just kind of a little hedge on the morning. What would I get there? If I had about $1 movement, I'd probably have a 2 to 3x return if we get to 448. I'm just thinking, so in the short term today, let me see, a couple levels I'm watching. If you can see my SPY chart here, 443 is right down here. This really is just kind of a significant open interest level for the day. In fact, let me see what we have for today and this week for open interest. I'm going to look at I think 443 is my big level. I think if I get long at 447, that's just more of like throwing a trade on there to see if it gets hit. It'd be a 30-cent position that I could probably get filled for. Well, I get filled for about 30 cents, and I look at about $1 profit. But obviously, I need price to go to 448 today, and that's a $3 plus move, and that's a $3 plus move that has to go to the upside. So we can clearly see here this is pretty decent intermediate support and resistance on the 1 hour chart. 448 puts us back up into challenging off these lows, making a little run up here. This could be another fade, something like this, where we run back up here towards 448, 449, and then get faded back down, score a point for those bears. But that would be the volatility I'd be watching for. So I think I'm going to take a trade. Yeah, I'll take that trade. So if I did today's expiration, 448, I think it's doable. It's trading for about 34 cents. 448. Just going to look at a long call. Let's see. 34 cents. So 34 cents, 33 cents. It's going to change it with cheaper price, I guess.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Okay.
Order filled.
All right, we'll see what the bulls are made of today. If anything. Otherwise, I could probably put in like a 450. That'd be a $5 move on the day. I doubt we're going there. Let me have a look at something really quickly on Schwab. And then I'll get into our analysis and our currencies and things like that. So I might look at for the day, if I can get enough credit for it, I might look at a bear call spread, like the 450 by 451. See if it'll kind of stay below that today. SPY. Bear call spread. Okay, so this would be a sell to open. Today's expiration 450 by 451. If the premiums are decent, they're terrible. Going out of the money by 4, 5, 6 strikes, I mean, it's not even close to worth it. So I'll have to wait and see if price can get up there naturally. If price gets to 448 today, 449, I might look at that bear call spread for 20 to 25 cents. Otherwise, price hits 443. That's really my target for the day. And that would pay me. So yeah, 443 is going to be what I'm focused on. I do have a 447 long call as well. So I will add to this. If SPY showing signs of bullishness, I'm looking at the 447 long call. SPY 448 price level. And that level is, let's see here. So the 447 is about a 24 delta. So if that was $1, well, 445 to 448 is a $3 move. $3 times the 24 delta on top of the 31 cents that I filled at. I should be able to set $1 credit for that if that gets filled. So that makes my trade pretty easy. The 447, I'll set a limit credit at $1. Good for the day. And same thing there. Okay, so we'll see what price wants to do today. If price pushes higher, I'll probably look at a later in the day bear call spread, towards the highs. I don't think price is getting much higher than 450 or 451 today. On the downside, price probably isn't going too much lower than 440. So either way, whatever stacks up, I'm going to look at some type of bull put spread in here. If I go down, I'll just talk about these levels really quickly. So if we head down to 440, I'm probably looking at a bull put spread, which would make sure that price stays there. Obviously, make sure meaning like I don't think price is going too much lower than 440. And then the upside, I don't think we're going too much higher than 450. So the way I get paid today is price goes to 443, that pays. Price goes to 447, that pays. Directionally, if I want to look at a long put right now, I could probably do that. Do something out of the money, a 444 put. Let me see what that's looking at right now. 444 put. That's asking for 90 cents. It's a 43 delta. I'm looking for a dollar move. I'll just hang tight in that for right now. I've got the butterfly spread. I'll just take the butterfly spread over the put right now. The calls are way more affordable. All right, let's switch gears. That's some Delta Trader stuff. We'll see how the market shakes out. That gives me some time. Let's look at the dollar index, which is catching bid this morning. Here's the FXCM. index. Big run the last couple of hours on the US dollar. You can see that in the currency strength chart as well since about 8 a.m. Eastern time. So big run in the US dollar. Let's go to the daily chart. Actually, let me switch this back to the SPY here. Keep my eye on the SPY. If the dollar gets stronger, we should expect the stock market to be dropping and continue to retreat a little bit. Let's go to the US dollar here on this chart. There's some analysis I've already put in. There we go. So dollar has done what we expected, which was hold this support level around 12.6, coming all the way back up to 13,000 or so. I am wondering if we are hitting dollar resistance now, or if we're going to continue to see the dollar stretch and find this bigger pocket. Again, it's Monday. It's kind of tough to tell where that higher low is going to form, but today's bid is pretty interesting. There's not a lot of news to drive the market this week, not from what I see. We have Aussie news, China news, UK news. We have CPI out of Canada on Tuesday morning. Retail sales out of the US Tuesday morning. RBNZ rate decision, which is expected to pause at 5.5%. CPI out of the UK this week. That'll be a big one to watch for the pound crosses. That would be a pretty impressive print from 7.9 to 6.7. Shows the UK is finally starting to chip away at some of that high inflation. I think that trueflation measure, if you go trueflation, you can toggle between USA and the UK. So 2.42 at the US. We broke a 12-month streak of lower CPI year over year. Then we have 11.49. This is the trueflation reading for the UK. Government reported 7.9. This week they're forecasting a year over year at 6.7. So does that help the pounds? Maybe. I don't know. I think if anything, it's just gonna stir some nice volatility up though. That's what I'll be watching. Okay, so that is Wednesday morning, so 2 a.m. Eastern time, right during that UK Open, or that was actually pre-UK, unless there's a time difference now. That should be around 8 a.m. UK time. FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday, that'll be something to watch. Just language-wise, it's just going to be a statement. There's no press conference, there's nothing attached to it with Jerome Powell or anything, but might be something to stir up the markets a little bit for the U.S. Employment news for the Aussie, 9:30 p.m. Wednesday. That's going to be Thursday's trading day. Unemployment claims Thursday, and then pretty light. When is Jackson Hole? I thought Jackson Hole is coming up pretty soon for the U.S. Let's go Jackson Hole 2023. I don't want to stay there. Just want to see when the summit is. Jackson Hole Summit. Okay, so it's August 24th through the 6th. So it's coming up, but not this week. So we have this week. It's going to be next week, Thursday through Saturday. Gotcha. All right. Usually there's some decent movement, not necessarily during Jackson Hole, but coming out of it. Just depends on what the big headlines read. So just curious. I knew it was coming up. All right. That's the dollar. So what am I watching for in the dollar crosses? Well, if we're hitting resistance here around 13,000 on the US dollar index, we could put in a near-term top. Again, I want to see confirmation on the shorter time frames to fade the dollar. Otherwise, look, risk-off flows are going to favor the dollar. And where could we favor the dollar? 13.1 or 13.2 to come back into this pocket from 2022. So from there, a couple of things could certainly happen. We could fade the dollar in this area, or we could look at the equal top here and have a big formation, a big range on the US dollar at 13.5. That'd be a fantastic short, actually. So it's going to be something to watch. I mean, having a big breakout the last couple of hours on Monday, maybe that starts us off with a little bit of momentum, but I will be watching the dollar closely this week in the trading rooms. DXY, same thing. I talked about this chart, specifically back above the 200 EMA. You can see that it's been holding for a while. Rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. Now that we're back above it, we have to see how the next couple of days play out, right? If we close above and hold above, then dollar index on this DXY chart looks like we're possibly coming back to this 105, 106 handle, which is dollar strength. I said last week watching this indecision that if we get a break above, then we're looking to go long and stay long the dollar and look for a weaker a weaker push in the markets. So right now we've been getting that. The SPY has been, steadily grinding lower. Again, not aggressively, but just steady. We're poking highs, then fading. We're poking highs, then we're fading. Right? Lower highs, lower lows at this point. This is the bigger level at 440. I'm still pretty interested. I think I talked about this in a couple of webinars. We have some pending orders at 435 by 430s. Those are some credit spreads to kind of buy some dips. We could do the same thing this week. We could talk about the IWM. We could talk about the DIA, the QQQ. I don't mind getting some index-related movements here in the next, maybe a couple of weeks. So I'd be looking at kind of some Q4, Q1 moves on some of these indexes to see if we, really get a bull market coming from those 23 and 30% FIV levels. All right, that's dollar index, oil, gold, silver. Oil's been in a pretty good rip lately. I think buying the dip is the play. Any pullbacks towards 78, any pullbacks towards 75, still in a bull market in my opinion right now. I mean, I say bull market, I say just an uptrend. A shorter term uptrend, but $78 to $75, pretty strong support if we have any pullbacks. Bullish targets all the way up towards $90 to $95 on oil. Gold and silver should be dropping as the dollar's getting stronger. Not a surprise. We talked about shorting gold at 1980. That's working out beautifully. We're at 1904. Gold is vulnerable to the downside around 1850 if the dollar continues to get strength. Here's another one you want to keep an eye on, right? We get below the 200 EMA. It was support. It was support. It was support. If we get below that, there's our little sell zone to finish up some of these pocket trades. Okay, so gold is going to be a big correlation with the dollar. Dollar gets stronger, gold gets weaker. Silver, dropping heavy. We'll see if this channel holds around $22. If it holds, great. Look for a turn in the dollar. If it doesn't hold, silver gets reset, probably coming back to this 1950 level. Okay, that does do a little structural damage on silver. If we fall to $20 on silver, then I don't know. $20 in silver may hold. Otherwise, we might just reset to 15 or 14 bucks, which I'm still long from there. But I'm looking at this support and this support and this support. So I'd like to see silver hold bid around $22 this week if it gets tested. So I will be watching that closely. Okay. Let's just spot check on Bitcoin. In my Discord group this morning, or Discord channel, I posted my blog from last week. I meant to do that on Friday. I just had other stuff going on as soon as I wrapped up classes. So here is my little blog post. So just chat last week. I mean, we had CPI news. The market essentially didn't go anywhere, but we had good day-to-day volatility. Robots last week just absolutely crushed it. I had 4 systems I'm running on full auto. Steady with Perfect Storm, steady with Pockets Pattern Pro. Equalizers had 2 or 3 great weeks in a row where each one, my buy side and sell side, both coming in with over 1,000 pips. So cleared 3,400 pips last week on just the Equalizer Pro. But just steady, just usual. I like it. And then short-term trading on the SPY and the Q, we did pretty well there. If I take a look at my equities on demand spreadsheet and tracker, we just launched a course a couple weeks ago called Delta Trader, where I'm teaching traders how to trade short-term options. A lot of them are day-to-day. We have a couple of core strategies, long puts, long calls, some butterfly spreads. I do some credit spreads as well. But we kind of blend this into our equities on demand trading room where we're more, short, medium, long term. This is more day-to-day focused, trying to grind out some dollars and credits for the week. So far since I launched this course, it's been about 2 weeks or so. We've had 1176 in debits and 1691 in credits. So let me just do that math-wise. So 16.91 in credits minus what I say for the debit, I think 11 something. 1176. So minus 1176. So we generated $5.15 of credit just the last couple weeks. If you understand how this works with option contracts, just one contract, it's $500 in the last couple of weeks, $515 the last couple of weeks. I have a lot of traders that are, showing results, 2 contracts, 5 contracts, 10 contracts. You do the math there, a couple contracts is $1,000, 5 contracts is $2,500. So, this education gets paid for pretty quickly with some just solid trading. So it's a lot of fun. Well, trading is not fun. Trading is to make money, but it's nice. It's a nice way to, be a participant. I've been watching the market actively, especially with this type of strategy, day to day for the last 3 months, and just keeps me pretty well informed and engaged. And really all I focus on is I watch the SPY, I watch the Qs, get my price levels. It's let me, kind of focus in on, I've got a good pulse on the SPY and the Qs. That gives me a good pulse on other currencies and how it all translates and correlates. So good stuff. All right. If you have any other charts you'd like me to take a look at, let me know. Bitcoin, like I said, just want to do a quick spot check. We're at 29.3. Chart alarm is at 28.5 and 32. I don't know if it's a surprise. Should we be surprised that Bitcoin has been so quiet? I don't know. I mean, maybe I should be surprised, but I'm kind of not. I mean, the dollar is kind of taking the reins right now. Bitcoin is still pretty well supported with this uptrend line, so I could see price. The good thing is we're not just dropping, right? It's not like Bitcoin is just falling back into these lows at 25 or 20,000. But the reality is, perhaps it just kind of stays in here, stays pretty well bid, finds some support at this trend line, and then boom. Maybe as we come out of September, and this is one thing we have to think about, August and September historically are pretty bearish month for the stock market, so it's kind of a risk-off flow. If we have a risk-on rally, maybe it's Q4, but if Bitcoin breaks 32, I would not be surprised if we see a run from 32 to 48. We break 48, let's look at 100. I mean, that's no joke. I mean, 68 was the previous high. So we break 32, break 48. I think 68 is achievable. I think a bull run takes us to 100K. I think the patient Bitcoin bulls would be very happy to see a run like that. That being said, maybe nothing happens. Maybe it's still 30,000 resistance and 20,000 support, and Bitcoin just slowly just does its thing. Maybe breaks this trend line here, picks up some momentum, but then gets bid around 20,000, which is around the mining cost at this point. So it is really just a spot check more so than a play. I'm just holding my Bitcoin and trying to dollar cost average in where I see fit. Okay. So that's that side of things. Trying to think anything else for today. Any other charts? We can obviously go through a bunch of currencies. Directionally, I can just rattle them off for you. I know I got to switch over to class here in just a minute. I don't want to be too late. I did that last week. I think on Friday I was like 10 minutes late. So let me jump in equities on demand here in a couple of minutes. But currency-wise, let's see here. Aussie CAD, I'm still bullish. Aussie Swiss, I'm still bullish, looking for a bull pattern. Aussie yen crosses in general. The Asian currencies got hit pretty hard. The dollar yen hit 145 again. Okay, 145.50. This is why I said let's not call the top. Okay, if we're not seeing any type of definitive breakdown, we're not seeing a breakdown back on the right-hand side of the trend line. Look, 150 to 152 might be the spot that the yen just continues to run. Remember, it's negative carry, right? So anytime there's low and slow volatility, the JPY, the weaker currencies, the less yielding currencies are probably going to be weaker. Okay, so again, the kind of odd correlation we see right now is we see some risk-off trading where the dollar's getting stronger, the stock market's selling off, but risk-off trading is not favoring the Japanese yen at this time. Okay, so we do have to be mindful of that. The Japanese yen just continues to be a difficult, sustainable trend. It's more like you just got to stay with your short term. Watch your 1 hour, watch your 15-minute. If it's in a buy zone, stay with the buy trade. If it's in a sell zone, stay with your sell zone. Move stop losses to break even or better quickly. Trail, maybe get lucky on a couple hundred pips with volatility, but eliminate risk quickly. I think that's the best way to play them this year. Okay, so yen cross is getting hit hard. This does help our position we have in the dollar Singapore, which is back up towards 35.80. If we break this high, I was looking at this pattern. So low to high, and then a 1, 2, 3 correction, and then boom. Hopefully we start to break up above 3,600, making our way to 3,750. That level in this pocket here are my profit levels, 3,750 and 3,900. Big profit window on the dollar Sing. Pip wise, that should help us in the flex trading room. I've got 5 positions, anywhere from 32 back to 33 on a couple of positions. I've added to some pullbacks here. I've got 5 positions total. If we get to 37.50, I will probably have 2,000 pips or more on that pattern trade. So 5 positions, each one paying out towards the yearly pivot. I can take off some and try to get a little greedy towards the yellow box, but I'll probably just close at my symmetry target and my yearly pivot, which is around 37.60. So I'll add up the numbers on that one. We have it mapped out in our flex room, but that would be nice to see a big pattern come to fruition and close up a big chunk for a couple thousand pips. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'll keep it short and sweet today. I know we went about a half hour or so as usual. We'll be back on Friday. This week's news is pretty light. I'll keep an eye on that UK inflation. We'll watch for some volatility around the New Zealand dollar with the RBNZ. We have Aussie employment, UK CPI, unemployment claims for the US, FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. Maybe that opens things up a little bit for the dollar. But otherwise, it's dollar strength. Let's see if it pushes to those levels we've been eyeing on the dollar index, and trade accordingly. Okay, and then stocks and options. We're watching the SPY, the Qs, equities on demand students. I'll see you here in just a couple minutes. Okay, let me post the Discord group if anybody's interested. We have some new watchers. Discord is right here. Put in a free group chat. Invite will not expire. So I'll copy that and put this in my Discord group. And there's no expiration on that link that's posted in the YouTube chat. So come on in, say hi. Free group chat is free for everyone to post and chime in, ask questions. I'm going to start doing some ask me anything segments as well. I'll just post it here in the free group chat, and then if there's anything I'd like to do a video on, I can start doing videos, add them to my YouTube library, and then you'll see those pop up here in the thread as well. Okie dokie. All right, sounds good, everybody. Thanks a lot being here. Let's have a good trading week. See you in the trading rooms, and I'll be back on Friday to wrap things up. All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.